Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we will be talking about the latest album from girl band titled The Talkies. Girl band is a quartet from Dublin, Ireland, comprised of the usual guitarist, vocalist, bassist, drummer. I want to talk about the genre of music that girl band makes. They make noise rock. They make experimental rock, and no wave is also in their catalog. And one of the reasons why I'm kind of saying this is because I don't normally listen to noise rock or no wave music. It's not in my library of music that I enjoy or even just listen to. Rather, I went into this album expecting it to be either mediocre or okay, but I came out of it thoroughly enjoying it. The thing about noise rock that I don't really necessarily like is the fact that, and stay with me here, it's noisy. It's a little too noisy for me at points, and that's the problem with a lot of noise rock in my opinion. Yes, it's noisy, and yes, it's supposed to be like that. Don't dog me for that. I know it's supposed to be like that. It's just, most of the time, way too abrasive or just way too unorthodox for me. I like melody, I like rhythms, I like beats, I like substance with my music. I don't like unorganized chaos. Not saying all noise rock is that, but a good chunk of it is. So why did I start listening to this album? Well, one, it has a lot of good reviews, so that's one reason. And two, I was curious. I was wondering why a lot of people were talking about this, raving about this album, and I listened to it. And the 12 tracks that it delivers on are incredible. From start to finish, it is a very enthralling listen. We start off the album with the song Prolix, which isn't really a song, rather like a minute of someone breathing over a bass line. It's a perfect way to start off the album. It's eerie, it's anxious, it's creepy in a way, but it sets the atmosphere for the album, and I can commend that for what it is. Now, this song of the album sets the mood, and the last track off of the album ends it very cleanly. It's, in the context of this record, upbeat. And I say that very lightly because it's not necessarily upbeat, but it's just happier than the rest of the songs. Now, the songs on this album, you range from a minute to 7 minutes, and at 45 minutes, it's pretty diverse with the track listing. You get the 2-minute track Abophobia, which sounds like a collision of everything this band is coming together. The vocals, the guitars, the drums, they all just come together. The song comes together very chaotically, but it's not necessarily in a negative way. It's loud, it's abrasive, and it's unrepenting. I'll say that. And then you get the 7-minute track Prefab Castle, which is this epic song that has 2 parts to it. You get the more chaotic part, the first half of this song, and then you have this experimental break between the 2 halves. And then you get the more rhythmic part of this song, and quite frankly, I love them both. Then you have the song Shoulder Blades, which is a very, very good song. The instrumentation on this song is incredibly chaotic and also loud and abrasive, as well as the lead vocalist. He's just screaming practically. What's great about this album is that there are really high highs juxtaposed to some really low lows, and both are equally interesting, and both are highly enjoyable. Certainly my favorite track of this album is Caveat, with the least favorite being the one after it, Laggard. The song Caveat is this 2-minute track that's very rhythmic, and in noise rock that's not very common, but what I love about this song is that not only it's rhythmic, but the vocals are very coherent in the terms of this album. But more clear vocals are present on the song Salmon of Knowledge, which is what I would describe very reminiscent of Michael Gira, a la To Be Kind, and these vocals are probably the clearest out of this entire album. And while I like to understand what I'm listening to, sometimes I also love to just kind of enjoy the noise. And quite frankly, a lot of this album is chaotic. It's unrepenting. The vocals are relentless and the instrumentation is unapologetic. And this album doesn't care what you think, but I think it's a great listen. And this is also very impressive that this is the band's sophomore album and they've made this. I mean, it's pretty good. Critiques I do say though, which it's not all rainbows and butterflies. What I would say is that I want the band to work on, even though I know it's noise rock and whatnot, let the vocalist be more coherent at points. This is an album of loudness and an album of raw energy. And the vocals are raw as well, but I also want to know what they're saying. And that's not a dig at them. I genuinely think that there are great points where yelling and screaming is very necessary when the instrumentation is also practically yelling and screaming. But when you have this very quiet background and the vocals are just kind of, it doesn't really mix well. But overall, I think this is a very enjoyable listen. I think this is also a very cathartic album for the band. Not necessarily meaning that this is an emotional album or that it has a deeper meaning to it. I just think it's a lot of energy. A lot of built-up energy. A lot of exciting energy as well. The best way I can describe this album, it's kind of like sitting right around a corner, ready to scare you. And while I don't like to be scared, there's an exception to this album. So overall, I'll give this album an A-. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this album down below. Let me know what albums you want me to review next, and that is it. Leave a like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Girl band, the Talkies. Until next time.